I don't even think they wait for the Koreans to stop talking that time. I was hoping to wait for it. On Hotshot GG in the Witch. I think is that the new Halloween outfit, the Witch one? Not too sure what it's got on there. But anyway, we're going to have... Let's give you a player rundown while we set up to see whether we do get any level 1 fights. No pauses or dropping this time from the odd one. So for Canada, it's going to be...
I'm not expecting much to happen at level 1. There's no teams have any good way of initiating other than TF, really. And you're not going to lead with TF into a team with Anivia. So I have a feeling both teams are just going to defend and sit back. But... France is taking risk because they feel desperate after the first game, I guess.
Well, and like we mentioned, they're a pretty much a poke team, so they're actually pretty low hit points to start with, so there are really no bruises in there whatsoever to get in your face at level 1. So they're going to invade and maybe try and prevent
30
them.
seconds until minions spawn.
Now we're seeing Hotshot actually down the bottom lane at the moment, and I guess he's going to just teleport top and waiting to see whether they can get a gank or something. I'm not too sure. If you can see,
he may just be putting traps in the bush, just to help with bush control of the game. And then he's going to TP back in about 20 seconds and run to his lane.
Yeah, so let's see whether Elements gets caught out. The ping's gone down onto the golems, which is what France has sat ready and waiting for.
Minions have spawned.
Or they're planning on doing a 1v2 with Hotshot bottom, but I haven't seen... No, it looks like they're just laying 6 traps in the bush to troll / get complete control of that bush.
Now that I heard that shot going off from Chaos. So here go France. They are going to get the stun down, which is only going to go towards the golems and not the heroes. So Chaos easily backed away from that on Elements as well. They will take them golems, so it's going to take the experience away from Chaos there. Obviously it takes you pretty much to level 2 if you do get them on your AD carry, so they're going to back away, and Hotshot GG has, like you say, ported back and goes back top. Rumble now also joining lane, so it is going to be Hotshot GG on Nidalee up the top there against Soaz on Rumble. In the mid lane it will be Big Fat LP on Twisted Fate versus Yellow Star on Anivia. In the jungle it is going to be Linak on Udia versus the odd one on Trundle, although they're not really versus each other in the jungle. And down the bottom of course it's going to be Elements and Chaos on Tristana, Caitlyn, sorry, and Soraka versus Urgot again, and Kuja this time on Sona, which for me Sona's always been the best support for a long time lately, but
that's the opinion of pretty much most teams actually. They generally pick Sona first or Bennett.
Well, they got a good stunner towards Elements then. Unfortunately not going to have the damage. They tried to switch towards Chaos there, but like you mentioned, they did just blow the flashes out there. So that's a good start. You've got to be happy with that. Blowing them some of the spells, which means obviously you'd expect the jungler to go back, but I would expect a visit from Linak in a moment. The camera needs to get back down there because they have managed to get on towards Elements there. The lock-on comes on. Don't really have enough damage to finish him off. He can't dive in yet. And wow, the crit as well. And Kuja taken down very low by the minions in amongst all that, which may even force him backwards. Did I just see a... It was a heal, yeah.
Linak is committing experienced suicide here. Trundle's taking his entire top jungle. They did the invade at the start of the game, so he's already slightly slower than the other junglers. Oh my goodness. It's the 6 traps in the bush, basically, that he walked into there.
But he did like the walk forward attack, basic attack damage. I wonder whether he disconnected or not. I get paranoid when I see these things nowadays after having so many disconnects.
Still bottom.
Yeah, he's losing out massively on the experience, and Chaos is really going to start running ragged down this bottom lane. Now look at that, even Soraka's just forcing him up the river. That's just pure comedy, while Chaos is just going to quite happily farm down bottom. Fear them bananas. Meanwhile at the top you can see Rumble's been pushed pretty heavily by Nidalee at the top there, and he's going to have a little tough time of it to start with. And clearly those traps, I think, for Hotshot, would it be the traps, do you think, that made the difference down there? Obviously gives the bonus of damage, etc.
Sorry, I missed that.
So, the damage down the bottom lane. Obviously, there's traps that Nidalee had laid all that down there. Do you think that really basically helped with the kill?
Absolutely, because I think the Nidalee trap had shred on it, plus the Caitlyn trap. I actually think it did. He walked backwards into that push. And I was going to mention before the game, but other things happened. I expect Hotshot to lose this lane, because Rumble is actually a very good counter pick to a Nidalee lane. Nidalee pretty much always loses early to Rumble. She can't... Rumble's front-loaded damage is too much, and before Nidalee can jump away, she's very vulnerable.
One thing I'm disappointed is we haven't seen Soaz on Aurelia this tournament. Wicked gets all the praise for being on Aurelia, but personally I think Soaz is actually one of the top Aurelias. Certainly in the game, he's just fantastic on it. Every time I saw him, and certainly when he played Millennium, he used to use it a lot, but I've not seen him play it for a long time. I mean, you guys obviously have Voyboy at the top. He pretty much lives on Renekton, or that's what he's famous for. But do you ever use an Aurelia? I don't think I've ever seen Dignitas
We've used
an
it
Aurelia.
occasionally, but you see very little Aurelia play just in general in North America.
It's a little odd one, but okay. So Hotshot's return to lane, and it is all square 1-1. So really, Hotshot dying is probably a bit more worthwhile than just a single Sona kill, because Sona, while I hate to say it doesn't mean a lot that your support dies, it does, but, you know, in the grand scheme of things, it's a lot more important to get that AD carry. Linnak's going to have to back away from that on. I feel Linnak's going to fall behind here because he's been going for the ganks and they've not been paying off. You can see the odd one on level 5 now. Linnak's still only on level 3.
The thing about the bottom lane gank that made it so bad for France is Udyr spends so much time bottom trying to create and make something happen, and his team is actually the one that died. So even though he spent so much time ganking, Trundle spent that entire time farming. And generally, Udyr is much faster in the jungle than Trundle, but Trundle is substantially ahead of him right now, which is very bad news for Udyr. And he bought... The one thing about Udyr, at least in my opinion, is you need to get ahead early, because Trundle's actually invading early, and Udyr even bought a pink ward, so he's going to be behind on his items as well.
So we do finally go across to it. I'm sure he realises something's up.
Yeah, he saw him enter.
Oh, and actually we're going to have Big Fat LP getting caught out by Nivi there. He's going to easily walk around the wall there, and you can see the odd one putting a good half the damage down on towards Linnak there. Linnak, I think, just on the wraiths, or he's waiting for them to come up. I didn't actually get to see the fight. Meanwhile, down the bottom, I can also see that Urgot's been completely forced out of lane. He's down half health as well. Hopefully the camera will pick it up. You can see he's having to desperately fight off Kayax, who's been completely untouched. You can see they're actually behind the turret, I think, at the moment down the bottom there. Finally, I think the camera's going to go down there as the whole fight's finished. Thanks, camera guy. I don't know what to make of this whole not controlling the camera thing. I've kind of been used to it throughout, but I know a lot of people out on the internet would much prefer a third cameraman. I guess it would work. It works well if there's a pro player doing it, but
who can know? Yeah, who can?
I mean, I don't know who the actual player is controlling it. Certainly, the streams that people would have been watching during this event. Oh, Hotshot GG certainly going to go down. Pops the ulti down. The ignite goes down. He just needs to finish him off, and Soaz gets a second kill, and that is a completely unaided kill as well, and that's going to give him his Hextech revolver straight away. Meanwhile, down the bottom, I think Urgot has gone back. And the Koreans must be going mental because they love Hotshot GG.
That is a very bad matchup. And it's 8 minutes in, and Udyr is still level 4. Even though Rumble is so far ahead early, this Udyr being behind, especially against a Pocomp, he has no place in this game. He will not be able to get into fights without dying before he hits anything.
And we've seen Big Fat LP playing Twisted Fate actually quite a lot this tournament.
Yeah, it's one of his old characters.
Yeah, I remember it from yonks ago. It was, in fact, well, so I remember it. It was kind of after the WCG 2010 when Germany played so well with SK Gaming that it was then. Played so well in the mid with Twisted Fate, and suddenly America went, oh, we could use Twisted Fate. He really works well, and he was banned straight away, and America went on to win that one. Scar, obviously, you play the mid most. I mean, I guess you've come up against Big Fat LP a lot. Do you fear his Twisted Fate so much?
The thing is, I haven't played against him recently. Like, he used to play, like, God, like, so much TF. Like, just a ton of TF. And, like, the thing is, recently, I think you can really... The reason why people don't pick TF much is because his laning phase is very... risky. Like, if you run a kill champ mid, like Annie or like Xerath or something, you can one-shot TF at 6 and just, like, snowball off him because he's just so weak. He's very slow. He doesn't have much mobility. It's just really bad matchups in general. This is a matchup that he can actually kind of farm against because in early levels, Anivia can't really pressure much, and at 6, she's not guaranteed any sort of kill. So I really thought that, like, France could have abused that with, like, a good Xerath pick.
It's not that Twisted Force also important in by the looks of it here. Soaz is surely going to go down here. Will get picked up, but Deer's going to come in. I don't think he's going to be able to do a great deal about it. In fact, he's going to get kited, he's going to get stun guarded, and the odd one will finish him off surely. Rabid Blight will go on to him, and yeah, Hotshot GG gets on as a double kill, and that is exactly why Twisted Fate can work, because just pulled it top straight away and gets the kill. And that was actually a setup gang. Now Yellowstar's crazily suicidal, gone in the top there. What on earth? Jat slaps his forehead at that one. It's just like, what are you doing? They had such a great start that top lane, and that even may be the tower. In fact, it will be the tower. I think that's just backfired horribly for them. I don't understand why they would just throw themselves in one by one there.
It's very, very weird for me as well. Like, also this Rumble build I'm looking at, I'm like, he's rushing Gunblade, and I'm like, that's very strange. Usually you just see the standard will into Rabadon's, will into Rylai's, but he just decides to go straight Gunblade, and maybe it might work against Italy. And you see a Dragon Force by France. I think they can do this easily. No one's nearby. They can just clear it out, which means they'll be at least caught up to an extent. They're still behind almost 2,000, like 2,000 plus gold, which is a lot. It really depends on how much Rumble can feed off Italy at this point, and how much they can keep TF down, because TF can just roam at this point. And it's because he did his first ult with blue buff, so Destiny's up in 20 almost 20 seconds right here.
Yeah, and Yellowstar coming in the middle there at the moment. Yellowstar, he's been quite happily farming though. I mean, he is slightly ahead on farm. Obviously, we always talk about the fact that he does need blue or catalyst there. Hotshot GG's actually been caught out by Linear there. Yellowstar is going to come around. He's going to have to hop in towards the bush. Rumble's making his way down south, but the rest of his teammates are coming around. He's going to take a tower hit. That's going to be Destiny coming in, just like you said. And now Linux's going to have to back away from that one. Really, but that is an ulti used to save Hotshot. So that's kind of worked out well for France there.
If there's ever a point in this game where they can get blue buff on Nidalee and Twisted Fate, they're going to take 2 or 3 towers, because that amount of poke and spam is not something France is going to be able to deal with.
Yeah, and they do, and they can just kite them round. Rumble now looking to come around the backside of Big Fat LP. You can finally see him here, twitching away in the bush. And
the only reason you would ever go Gunblade on Rumble, if there is a reason, is if you want to get in and kind of brawl and be a bruiser. But with how much kite and poke Canada has, there's no reason not to go a full AP build. It's very confusing.
I'm glad it's not just the commentators that get confused when we see these builds. Yeah. We often get called out for it as well, and just going, what do you mean he's building that? That's so silly. It's like, we know. we're watching it, and we're still thinking, what the hell are you doing?
And this is, even with the Dragon, this is a very large early gold advantage for Canada. I think a lot of it has to do with the jungler gold. If you look 56 and 2 kills versus 39 and 01, that might be where at least 1,000 of the discrepancy is coming in. But I'm not quite sure how they're up so much gold, because the CS looks somewhat close. The 2 towers. There it is.
Yeah, so the 2 towers would be the... at least I could see in the difference. Like you mentioned, the farm is actually pretty close, and if you're going to be leading against TF in the mid there, that's kind of inevitable. Once he hits 6, he can farm quite easily. Down the bottom, you can see the CS pretty much even between them, 100 to 91, and no BF swords or anything like that. Triple Dornance actually from KX.
I guess he didn't want to risk Urgot getting that stone. If he could have somehow given that to Twisted Fate, they'd have they needed to take down the mid towers, no problem.
So are they going to continue pushing mid? They know that the dragon's not there, so there's kind of like 2 at the moment milling around. KX is like, what am I going to do? Where am I going here?
Uder's getting completely bullied around the jungle by the Odd One right now.
Well, we talked about that. That's all down to that start, isn't it? Where he's just...
It just snowballs from there, right?
Yeah.
Once a jungler, especially a good jungler like the Odd One, gets that advantage on another jungle, they can punish so hard, especially with Twisted Fate. That's one of the underrated things about Twisted Fate, is the pressure he puts on the jungler, because...
the gold advantage, etc. This big experience.
A, it's the gold advantage, and B, it's if you catch him while counter jungling, the other jungler pretty much always has to run away, because Twisted Fate can always be there to support. And there's no towers to retreat to in the jungle. So if you get caught low at all in the jungle against a Twisted Fate, you're going to die.
Yeah, which is where the counter warding will help, which is, you can see exactly what CLG is starting to do. Starting to ward up that jungle. And the blue heavily warded. Around. They're even just fighting over the one single lizard. Like, no, it's mine! It's mine! Do not take it. Of course, we should mention we are on the Fizz patch here. It is not the latest patch that you will be playing at home. So the banking system, etc., is not in place at the moment in the jungle, which I believe has been patched in now. I believe in live. I was playing it last night, and I was trying to think, is this the bank? It is in place. It is.
It's very hard to notice, because the banking system doesn't kick in until the camp's been up for at least 2 minutes.
Yeah. So As mentioned, Yellowstar will farm up. At the moment, going through a bit of a passive farming stage. We can see, obviously, Chaos is really... I'd love to see the gold. This is one of the things I like to toggle between, see what gold, see how close he is to that BF sword. He's going to try and catch on towards Titus there. Ergos just going to back away from that one. We'll take a bit of damage. Meanwhile, at the top, you can see that Linak is trying to position himself for a gank on towards Nidalee. Meanwhile, actually, Nidalee coming down the backside of Yellowstar, and Big Fat LB just baiting him out here. We'll try and come back with that stun card. Nidalee now will pounce out, does get the stun card. It's on the tower there, unfortunately. Surely going to pop Rebirth. Will they manage to finish him off? No! I do not believe it. He's got to be on absolutely nothing there. Linak comes out to save his bacon, and he is just going to port straight back. Wisely so. May well have to give up the middle tower here, though, because Hotshot GG Big Fat LP will poke it back. Soaz catching out towards Elements there. Elements does get caught out with a beautiful ulti there, and very well played by Soaz. And that's going to even things up to 4-3 in kills.
The funny thing is, if he didn't have Gunblade, he probably wouldn't have gotten that kill.
Yeah, very true, which you can see the timer now cooled down on it. So making good use of that Gunblade. I'm glad it's not just us that gets found out like that sometimes. You know, normally we could just say, hey, these guys are pro players, we can't question it, but you know.
I suppose. I've seen Gunblade rumble as a mess around troll build when you're just trying to 1v1 people all day, and maybe that's his plan.
But Hotshot GG doing his usual thing and continuing farm up the top. Meanwhile, mid turret is going to go down, so that will be the first turret for France, you would expect. But Hotshot GG is going to put pressure on that mid turret. Will France continue on? Dragon must be due around about now, I think. I'm trying to think of the time. We didn't actually keep a note of the time. It's normally great when you guys play us, you just type it in the chat. It's awesome. We can spot it.
And then I was like, oh, I remember when the Dragon's up.
Yeah,
of course, I
yeah.
pay perfect attention to this game.
I know exactly when it's coming up. And here we go, Linux going to try and catch out. He does flash, actually, catch on towards Chaos there. Oh, the crescendo completely missing. And that was flashed out of, and Yellowstar just trying to wall off and really getting nothing from that. So Yellowstar blowing a lot. Meanwhile, Hotshot GG is actually nearly taken down this top inner turret. They've completely ignored him up the top there. No Soaz is going back, but it's all too late. The damage is done. That health will not regenerate in the tower. And he's just going to back away and say, thanks, I've just took 3/4 of your tower down for free.
I was actually surprised that they weren't able to get any picks there. Chaos did a really good job of flashing away at exactly the right time. Because Trundle's pillar was actually on recharge when they went in for that charge. And the problem is, the more levels Trundle gets, I think once he's 16, his pillar's on an extremely low cooldown. I think it goes down to 11 seconds. So once he's got 5 points in pillar, I don't see how France is going to be able to push into a force fight unless they land like bisecting Anivia walls that have to be climbed over. That's the only way they can initiate.
And those Anivia walls are always one of the key points of Anivia. Is they can be like so hit and miss with the walls. You can see some great play, completely wall off someone, separate them, get the kill, or you can wall off your entire team. Skara, do you play Anivia much at all? I mean, I only ever see you on Cat and Talon.
I actually have played Anivia quite a bit, but it's not something that I consider like one of my main champions I go to. Like, what I mean about France's like lack of like objective control was that middle fight after they pushed 4 people out and half of them were low. They really could have just forced Dragon off that, and now it's a risk doing it. And they may have just lost the game. But this is going to be a bad team fight for them.
It is. And Linux is going to get caught out. Actually, the wall blocking him off there. Not quite the full wall, though. So Kuja may well get caught out by Hotshot GG here, I think. Hotshot not quite got his Ravenous Death Cap, but wow, 1 pound's doing a lot of damage there. And the odd one comes out. But that is going to be the Dragon going to Canada there. And France can't do anything about it. So they initiate on it. Luckily, though, they only lost Linak in that fight. I was going to say, I'm pretty sure the one down the bottom was going to get caught out. It wasn't Linak. The camera didn't follow him, but he did go down. But the initiation, again, and this is just like you mentioned there. Look at that. Just caught out with that spear. And Yellowstar using nearly half his hit points. And he's going to continue on poking away. All he needs now is Twisted Fate to come around, start wildcarding through that hedge as well. And they're going to be in all sorts of trouble. They are.
And I really dislike this Rumble build as well, because usually if you're going to go Will, or if you're going to go like a slow, you go Rylai's or Gunblade, but deciding to go both is usually a complete waste of like money, because you're getting the slow portion from another item as well. And so people are just going Rabadons. Yeah. Looks like they're trying to steal blue right now, and they should be able to, I don't think they're going to force.
This is the poke coming right in here. They're going to try and force it around. Linak is going to go in there. Clairvoyant Cleanse was used, but Big Fat LP might get taken out. They're going to throw everything at him. Meanwhile, Nidalee is still around here. He's trying to desperately... Now he's thinking, what am I going to do? I've got 5 members coming out, but he's just going to bait them towards him. He's realised he's got Yellow Star just below him. Meanwhile, you can see Canada have taken that mid-turret while they deal with Hotshot here. Hotshot's just going to try and pounce through. Gets stunned up, does pounce through. Linak was ready and waiting, does get the stun over. Hotshot GG will go down here eventually.
That was basically COG trying to get too greedy. They realized, like I said earlier, if they could get 2 blue buffs, that would basically give them full reign over towers. And they wanted it so badly that they put themselves in a bad situation. One other thing I wanted to mention is even though TF and Nidalee are both super reliant on blue, they decided, it seems, amongst themselves who was actually going to get them. You see Hotshot built a Rod of Ages, so his mana pool is actually quite large, whereas Big Fat LP didn't. He built a Death Cap. So whenever there's a blue on COG, they're going to be giving it to GG. That's why Hotshot built the ROA, because he's not expecting to get blues.
Yeah, so this is my blue. We're going to fight for it.
Yeah, exactly.
So the odd one clearing out that
He knows
top
he can't get his own blue, so he's like, we got to do this right now.
Yeah.
And I think bad call.
Bad call. Whoa. And then it's an important thing to note in the game. There's been a lot of chat lately. I don't know how much you guys want to talk about this situation, but obviously with CLG, with Elements changing around, and the fact that even Elements has been posted saying, there's 3 people making calls in this team. There's Chowster, Saint Vicious, and Hotshot GG, and they're constantly arguing throughout the game. I mean, you guys, it's you that make the call, isn't it, when it comes to the actual fights? You try to.
Yeah. Sometimes they're the wrong calls.
I assume you... Yeah, well, that's it. I mean, you can make the wrong calls, and yes,
right.
You have to take it for it. But surely having 3 people making the calls and making the wrong one, they're going to go on to Hotshot. GG's going to get shortly caught out there. That was a complete catch-out. Wow, did they really need Crescendo there? I'm not too sure about that.
Definitely not.
That seemed a little bit of a waste there, but,
They would be able to force Baron a lot better if they would not have used Crescendo, though. That was really poor. This is very good for them, though. They're going to be able to get probably a tower out of this.
Yeah,
that Rumble is carrying pretty hard.
Meanwhile, the Udyr also against the odd one up top there. I'm not too sure Udyr's going to come out on top of this one. We can see him backing out. Hopefully the camera will pan towards it in a minute. They're just concentrating on Big Fat LP. Yeah, they have backed away. So Udyr wisely choosing to get away from that one. That will be that mid turret. And that's all come from being caught, which is exactly what we saw Canada doing with Poland. Poland were completely catching them out. You can see the odd one coming around there. Linux like, hi, I'm in the jungle. So as he's going to try and come around, can he catch the slow? The lock on from Titus as well. The damage is going to come across. Not quite going to be enough. Good stun card as well. And the Pillar of Filth being used very wisely by the odd one. He's going to back out of that one. 7-5 at the moment. The kills in favour of France. And Yellowstar needs to be careful. He doesn't get caught out of that. And if you're one of the slowest champions in the game, Hotshot on Nidalee is going to be one of the quickest. And nearly getting completely caught out there. Pounce him trying to get that kill. There's that wall. That's the difference, like I say. Sometimes you can land it and it's perfect. Other times it won't quite work. But of course, Nidalee can just pounce over it, surely.
I wish they would click on Anivia's skill build because it didn't look like he's put many points in the wall so far, which is actually somewhat surprising to me since it's their really only way of initiating. I think he put more points in the wall early to force fights, but he hasn't done that.
So really it's down to whether Rumble, who's 6-1-0 at the moment, really the fact only other one kill has gone to Linak at the moment, so it is all on Soaz for Team France. Meanwhile, Canada are chasing kills. But like we mentioned, if it starts going later and later in the game, the Poke team generally comes out on top. They can start picking those turrets down. You can see the Infinity Edge now on.
They have the blue buff on Twisted Fate here, and they're finally going to try to set up shop outside this tower. We'll see how it works. Anivia was a really good pick against Poke comps because it's extremely hard to push against Anivia, so I want to see what happens here.
So you can obviously, the spear coming through. It's inevitable he's going to start putting those spears through. Kuja needs to be careful of that, so does Yellowstar, just dodges out the side of it. But like you mentioned, certainly with Rumbler and Yellowstar on Anivia, they can just pop that ulti down and wipe the wave out straight away, so you can keep them at bay there. Linak actually coming around, catching on towards Hotshot GG. The rest of the team haven't gone for it because they're going down the bottom. I wish the camera would follow onto it because I can see the Rumble ulti going across on towards the odd one. The odd one will go down. No, yes he will. The Ignite will finish him off. Hotshot GG meanwhile at the top there. I can see the smoke coming in. Crescendo across, and Elements has cleansed it off. Chaos cleansed it off as well. The wall goes across, but I think Chaos is going to get away from that one. Elements does go down. Chaos is caught out there. That's a really good fight from France there. They've come out on top of this one. Do you think think they're going to push on towards the turret, or should they just turn it straight around, go for Baron right now? I'm not too sure. I think they're going to go straight for the turret here. Hotshot GG will come around, but, you know, Big Fat LP and Nidalee, they could probably bait them away from this one. I think the wiser choice is to go straight towards Baron here. And I think that's what they're planning on doing, apart from stepping on a trap that kind of gives the game away. It's actually heavily warded by CLG. Now, we've seen it before with these two players.
I think they're going to go to Dragon instead, just because Twisted Fate still has his blue buff, and Hunter has enough mana to throw a couple spears.
Yeah.
They would not be able to
That's
kill
what I say.
Baron
We've seen it
range.
before
Yeah.
with Twisted Fate, and certainly with Hotshot GG just baiting them away at Baron with them spears. And, you know, there's always that danger that he could get that one shot and get the steal, so wisely going to go for Dragon there. So 10-5, the gold still in favour of Canada, though, despite the fact they are that far ahead because of the early just game win that they had. They had a couple of dragons early on. They're certainly ahead on the CS across the board. And at the moment, though, they're chasing on towards Linak. He's going to get out away from this one, I think, quite easily. As well.
There's been so much happening, but I just wanted to touch on what happened in that tower.
Yep.
It's a really good sign that France was able to initiate that fight, because if they have if they're actually able to catch Canada like that more often and initiate fights, Canada does not have a good team fight team. Nidalee and Twisted Fate are bad in straight-up brawl fights, so France can actually get in on them. They will win the game.
Yeah, and of course there's quite a few abilities blown in amongst all that. Let's see whether they're going to be able to. They're just going to wait around. I guess they will do. You can see the bottom lane's pushed pretty heavily. I think Hotshot's going to go down there and clear that one out. Meanwhile, Twisted Fate at the top is porting back. So, actual ping was from France. It's 7-1-1 now on that that Rumble build. It's just rubbing it in, isn't it? Every step of the way. Gunblade Rylers now and Sorcerer's Boots. And France coming down. They're going to pick up that blue, protect the blue. And where is Linak going? Let's keep our eye on him. Dragon is there. They are going to try and get those wards out, but Canada is sat ready and waiting for this one. They're going to have to pull it out.
Something interesting here is everyone on CLG burned Flash in the last fight, so if Anivia lands a good wall, they're going to get a lot of kills.
Yeah, and that Dragon will go down very quickly. Can they get anything out of it? Hotshot GG needs to be careful he doesn't get caught. Rumble actually blowing his ulti there on towards Big LP and Chaos. But they're going to back away from this one, and Canada just going to go retreat to the safety of the tower. Yeah, and France are not ready for Shendo and the wall to say, get off my top lane. Kuja actually taking a spear just at the end there as well, but France are going to retreat here. Canada might be able to pick up this turret here. I'm not too sure whether France are going to be able to get round in time, because they have that long-range poke, and of course the damage coming out from Chaos, Big Fat LP and Hotshot. Yeah, they're just going to back away from this one. That is the top lane actually going down to minions as well, which is never the best thing. And they have come around. They do manage to poke down Chaos there. That wall not quite working. I think he wanted to try and put it across to block his escape, but France have managed to protect the turret. But still very, very even between these teams. The gold, of course, still in favour of Canada, despite the fact it's 10-5 up, 4-2 in towers. And really, it's just all a bit, just the early lane phase is kind of working in the favour of Canada here. I just feel they're slowly starting to win these team fights.
They're slowly ticking away towers, but until they can get an inhibitor, I have to give the edge to France. Because even though France is behind on gold right now, their presence in team fights is actually a lot higher. Just because Anivia and Rumble do so much front-loaded damage, and everyone on CLG is so squishy.
Yeah. And if Twisted Fate or Chaos do get caught out, even Elements in there as well, they will go down very quick. So Hotshot seems to have some random line across his name. I don't know what it is. I've noticed it a few times in the graphic. We'll try and keep our eye on that one. Remember, Canada are 1-0 up. They win the first game. There's some big cheers going out, so I'm just wondering what the other final is at the moment over on the main stage. It is StarCraft 2, of course. What else would it be with the big roars? Remember, League of Legends, the grand final will be following over on the main stage after this match. This is a best of 3. The final will be a best of 3, but unfortunately I believe they've already played one match.
I think they have, yes, and we don't know the result of that yet.
No, we don't know the result.
We're tucked away in the corner right now.
Hopefully someone will come and tell us, or you guys at home. We've got no way of communicating with you whatsoever, so we'll never find out until we actually walk away from this game. So as it stands, it is 10-5. Let's have a quick look at the items. We talked about, obviously, the Hextech Gunblade and the Rylers on Rumble. On Anivia, he's just building up that Rabadon's Death Cap because he's got the Rod of Ages already complete. Urgot actually completed the Frozen Heart there with the Manamune and the Ionian Boots. Looking towards Chaos with a Quicksilver Sash now. That's what he blew earlier. I incorrectly called it a cleanse. It was the Quicksilver Sash which he used earlier on. I was looking at actually, I was kind of confused. I was looking, I was like, where's the cleanse timer? I was like, hey, there's only one. What's going on? It was the Quicksilver Sash, of course, that he did go there. That will be the top turret going down. 4-3 at the moment. Wow, StarCraft's getting loud.
Very loud.
Yeah, and that's coming from the main stage at the other end of the hall. I don't know whether you guys pick it up on the microphone. I don't think I can hear it come through here, but obviously we're only using one headphone. We've got a bit of blast from both ears. Rabadon's Death Cap is completed by both Nidalee and Twisted Fate, so Hotshot GG and Big Fat GG. So Nidalee's spears are going to start really hurting now, so that's going to be around about 400 AP, I think that is, between those two. And France now going to be taking down this second inner turret here.
Hotshot. They don't have anyone with teleport on France.
And they are
I don't know what they're going to do. They need to send something back for Hotshot, or they need to force a dive to get this in. They're going for the dive.
They're going to go diving in. They go straight towards Chaos. Chaos again taken down very low. Did manage to cleanse, get out. Crescendo across the entire Canada team. Beautiful crescendo there. And the Odd One's going to get away back on towards the fountain. They need to concentrate on that turret, getting the inhibitor. The turret has gone down.
Even then, there's just going to trade inhibs here. And after Hotshot gets that inhib, he's going to come back.
There goes Yellow Star. He's already ported back. That's going to be the inhib being picked up there. But the Hotshot's going to get this inhibitor down actually before France do. And that is a really good trade there. Despite the fact they picked up a couple of kills, but Hotshot GG is continuing to push on. He's like, you know what, the French team are here. I'm not worried about Yellow Star too much. Now he's going to back away and say thank you very much. So, not bad play really, but an absolute fantastic crescendo in there.
Really, really great Sona ult. They were extremely close to being able to finish off Soraka and Trundle in that fight, and if they could have, it would have been over. They would have won the game right there. Very quick decision-making by France, because if they would have hesitated there, they would have either lost that inhibitor or, you know, lost the team fight. It was a good call to go in immediately. COG really forced their hand with that Hotshot pushing top.
And it was Linak that flashed in there. Of course, there's been talk of no harmony in the Team France, but there certainly seems to be pulling it together in this one. As it stands, the BF sword now actually just been picked up by Urgot, so obviously picking up some kills in there. Actually, it's all about the assists. Udyr picking up the kills. The kills actually spread across, and Sona picking up a kill's never the greatest thing in the world. But you know what? He's got that Shirelia's Reverie built up there. We're looking towards the two junglers, of course. Trundle was miles ahead, and Chaos blowing his ulti there just to try and chip down on Sawaz's health there, but immediately you can see it gets built straight up by Kuja's heal there. So we're going to set up. I think we're going to be possibly seeing a definite either a bait round the Baron fight or not. No.
If Canada can manage to turtle in their base tower, Hotshot still has teleport up, so if they can make them dive again, it should be interesting. And they just burned Rebel out for not much. They're going to be able to re-heal that. I'm not sure what France has planned here.
Well, of course, the only lane that is pushed is that bottom lane for Canada. So they could follow in the super minions possibly, but the top and the mid both completely pushed. Of course, there are going to be super minions stacking on the top and bottom, so we'll keep our eyes on that. But France is looking like they want to engage here.
But in my opinion right now, France can't engage because since CLG's in their base, they're going to be able to stop the super minions from killing their base towers. But if France is pushed up that far, they can't do it with theirs. So they have to have a person in their base. It's a really awkward situation when you trade inhibs like that, because both teams are sort of tethered to their base towers in one way or another.
And Canada going for a Baron push here?
They should, because they see Anivia over there, and
that's
we'll
it. They know that it's a 4v5.
The Trundle Shred does kill it fairly quickly.
Yeah, and Canada will go in for this one. They're going to ward it up. There's actually no wards at all there either from France, but I think they're going to be pretty aware that they have gone towards it. Linux now coming over for a look, but Canada could have pulled that one, you know. I think they could have pulled it and done it.
That was just not enough information. They didn't realize that Urgot and Sona were both there. The only person they saw on the map was Anivia, so even then it would have been a 4v5, and that's not something they wanted to do.
Yeah, it's the benefit of hindsight that we do get with this spec mode. We can catch it. Oh, Linux been caught out here. He might be able to get taken down. It's going to be the Chaos snipe coming in, but meanwhile, Chaos has got Soaz all over him. He's going to have to cleanse across. Oh, he just popped the ulti the other side. Now Soaz is in trouble. They're going to come around for him. Big Fat LP actually portaling away from this one. Does manage to pass away, and unfortunately leaves the Odd One all on his Todd and completely pulls away from that one.
Yeah,
you're dead, son. I'm off. I'm out of here. The odd one won't be thanking him for that one. So France, despite actually almost being in a precarious situation, now have a complete push. Are they going to try and tank
by
it?
Rumble won that fight, because without Chaos, Canada has no team fight presence.
And the minions are coming in, so they're going to push on. They will get this turret down. Hotshot GG, just getting a spear across the course. Soaz there, managing to take the damage down on him, but that's going to be a second inhibitor now for France. So France looking like taking this one to a second game. It is far from over yet, though, because this poke team, and this is always the dangerous situation when you do get them pushed like that, because you're effectively giving the opposition free farm. You have to follow up on it. We do have the Lichbane now completed on Twisted Fate as well, but Twisted Fate, like you mentioned, they're so squishy. But Soaz getting around the back of Chaos was brilliant play. I mean, if he hadn't have done that, they would have easily picked off Linak and maybe picked off a few others that came in there. France wisely are going to back away from this one. They're going to buy 8-1-3 now on Soaz. So, as much as we talk about his build, it seems to be working better and better.
Man.
Yeah,
he's managed to somehow get through the poke team and close it, because like I said earlier, if you can brawl with Rumble, the Gunblade can actually work. I just didn't see a way he would be able to do it against the poke comp, but he's managed to do it. He's managed to get onto Chaos in multiple situations.
So the odd one has.
This is a desperation play right now.
Yeah, no, you can see there's a ward right there, so France know exactly what's happening. Linak is going to come around, and they're like, well, it's only the odd one. He's going to flash in, and the Pillar of Filth comes across the Rumble ulti. That's going to slow him down. I think he might be able to get away from this one, but I'm not too sure where he's going to go and whether it's actually going to delay.
This works very well, because Nidalee and Twisted Fate are going for those towers.
They're going to push across. They're going to try and push
their
way in.
doing a really good job of staying alive here.
And he's just baiting them around. They're completely unaware of this. Now they're going to see it. Now the pings go down now. And
they have to get off Baron. They have to respond to this.
The odd one is still alive. That's going to be another inhibitor going down.
And he's going to live, because everyone has to respond to their base push.
The only person that's gone back is Sona. Oh, there's Ergot. Now he's going to come across. And we are going to have to see them defending this one. And that's going to be a lot of damage. Although that middle Nexus turret will regenerate, although somewhat fairly. So, he didn't die. And he's back. He's back at the Baron. What a bait. And now the rest of Canada are coming in there, because Big Fat LP using that ulti to put in. Very well played.
And now they're going to get Baron.
And Linak is going to come in. Can he go and flash and get the steal in? Will he try to? He will certainly go in there. Will he get the stun down? He got the steal! He got the steal! Superb play from France there. Soaz now comes in. Oh, they're going to get straight across. The ulti comes across. Crescendo comes across. That's Titus using his ulti. I'm not too sure if he needed to do that, but he's going to go on to Big Fat LP. Actually not getting the kills yet at the moment. They will manage to go on to Chaos. Surely Chaos is the one they want. They're completely poke controlled here, though. And the Hotshot GG is going to go on a spear back across. Big Fat LP.
If they keep chasing, they might be able to get it, because Trundle used his last bit of mana on that last pillar.
And they are going to back away, but really very well played by Linak. Taking one for the team. I think Yellowstar might be able to catch a stun on someone here. Is he going to come across? The camera's banned away. He will catch the stun on the odd one. He will go down. Yellowstar does pick up the kill. Flash used there. I just caught a glimpse of it there as Soaz continues to chase. Inhibitor will go down. Soaz finishing that one off. Meanwhile, we've also got Super Minions coming up the mid here. This could be end game here for France here. They have that Baron buff. It's almost certainly going to be the turret where they've got Canada. Oh, beautiful. That's the big wall across. They're actually going to back away from this one, though. It is still a 4-on-4, but they chose to not follow it up.
Down in top lane, and now since they've cleared the two inhibitors, it looks like they're just going to push right down.
Udia's going to have to clear out those Super Minions in base as well. Remember, he's back up there. He has respawned, but very well played by Linak in a 5-on-1 situation with really. I was amazed Big Fat LP didn't time his stun card there just to take him out of it.
Just spike the.
No, you can. Oh, because he got
you can
still
probably
top
smite through stuns.
Right.
The only thing that would stop smite is suppression, I think.
So. Very well timed, basically.
It was well timed, and one thing,
what is with
Smite does so much true damage that if both junglers are there with Smite, even regardless if your entire team is there, it's still extremely risky, because I'd say they have at least a 40% chance of stealing if he's there.
A Rumble on catching on towards Kaox there. He's got two below him, actually. I'm not too sure if they realise that Urgot's coming along that lane. Yes, he will do. They're going to wisely back away from that turret. Big Fat LP with the glow around him, which tells me he's got a couple of pots running. Of course, we can't see what they're buying. We have got Phantom Dancer and Kaox as well now. And I tell you what, if Rumble gets that Rabadon's Death Cap, he's going to really, really hurt.
I think we really saw how weak COG is in teamfights there. They killed Udyr before the fight started. Anivia's ult was in sort of an off position and missed everyone, and they were still able to force COG to their base and take an inhibitor. They were extremely superior in teamfights.
And so has his life gen obviously coming from that Hextech Gunblade. And Hotshot was trying to do it once again at the top lane, but this time Linak has cut him off. So France are going to back away once again. Remember, look at that big stack of super minions going in the mid.
Rumble
there.
wants to go brawl Hotshot right now. If he can catch him, he's going to kill him.
Look, hopefully the camera will pan across. We do catch a glimpse of him. Will he manage to catch his tether on him? No, completely missed.
And Hotshot still had flash that entire time, so it's probably not going to happen.
Meanwhile, Yellow Star continues to keep control. Remember, it is super minions coming on the bottom here. The inhibitor of France will be respawning shortly. I'm hoping this game doesn't go on too long.
They can't stay here too long because Anivia has no blue buff.
Because that final stage game is due to start in half an hour. So I might be leaving you two guys, and you'll go like, no, we want to watch the final, screw you.
Pretty much.
But we'll see how it goes. They'll probably be delayed on the main stage. They generally do get it. I can't hear any roaring at the moment, though, which tells me StarCraft may have finished, actually, already. We are tucked away in her hut. I think we've been calling it all weekend. It pretty much is. There's no way around it. We're penned off. So here we go. France going to be pushing on towards the final turret. And Linak also pushing down super minions in the mid there, so he's going to really keep the pressure on. You can see the inhibitor has respawned in the mid there, so France are going to try and do the split push. And Linak, you know, we talked about him earlier on. He's been able to catch that build.
I feel like they're going to back away and get a Anivia blue buff because they can't really do anything with extended poke team fights without having a blue buff on Anivia.
And unfortunately for them, they've not made a great deal of use of that Baron buff, which they did steal, other than getting those few kills early on. They are going to get this turret down, though. It's got absolutely nothing. This is the difference of not having that awesome ranged AD. They are going to go straight in there. Yellow Star almost taken down as well. Hotshot GG flashed away. For some reason, we focused on him. God knows why the cameraman loves him. Chaos is going to get picked off here. They're going to go towards Tinas there. They will turn around. They're actually pretty split fight here, and I think Canada is going to work in their favour with this split fight. They will take down Linak there, and now the rest of France are going to try and back away from this one. Kuchev turns around, puts Crescendo straight across him and says, yeah, we're off now, see you, son. So, despite that all-close fight, it was only one each apiece. And France were split pretty heavily there, and I felt that was starting to
split too heavily,
quickly
and they
turning
engaged
down.
before the tower was quite dead, so it was a sloppy engagement. They had no way of closing onto Chao X, who basically just auto-attacked Uter a bunch of times and killed him.
You're trolling him with that name there.
Chao X?
Chao X, that's what you called him. That's whatever he calls him outside of it. Yeah, it is Chaos.
True.
But how are Canada going to respond to this one? I'm not too sure. They are all towers down on their base. They have two inhibitors, but they are open to the elements.
It's interesting. They have enough kite to... with the blue buff, I feel like France is going to be able to just walk up and take inhibitors.
And Anivia, we can see at the moment picking up that blue buff. Oh, Sohas trying to get on towards Big Fat LP. That would have been curtains for him if it had gone down. That is the blue buff now for Anivia. You can see him closing straight up on that open inhibitor in the middle. Elements, you're not going to be able to do anything about that one, son. And stun card is on Twisted Fate, but it's not going to have a chance to use it. And they're like, come on, Linak, get yourself in gear here. You are slacking well behind. The rest of France ready and waiting to go in there. Oh, that's a big spear, though, Yellow Star. That is really starting to hurt on him, isn't it? That was a full range, I think, there. Void staff also actually picked up by Twisted Fate in there, so they really need to dodge that poke as best they can, which is kind of hard when there's traps everywhere as well.
So much of it. Right.
Here we go.
Canada's still very afraid of France's initiative.
And it's Linak's been flash stunning, actually. That's started most of these fights. And again, they're backing away from it. France, they need to... Oh, they're going to catch out Hotshot GG here. They're going to go for him. I'm not too sure he's the right one to go for. He does manage to get the Urgot stun. That will be Hotshot down. Surely now France are going to push on here. Avoid those traps if they can. They're going on towards Elements. Elements is going to certainly get taken down. Shot with the gunblade from Sohas. Pillar of Filth. Beautiful splat bang in the middle of France there. That actually caught the whole team out off guard there. I don't think they were ready for that one. Yellow Star does get caught out with a little bit of a poke there. But they will take this inhibitor down. The top inhibitor now has super minions on it as well. Just meanwhile, and you can see Linak split off down the bottom there to take down that bottom inhibitor. They're going to catch on towards the odd one. He's probably going to walk away from this one, or will he not? Because the Urgot slow managed to finally catch him down. This will surely be GG.
They're not protecting him, so he's going to fall here.
Yeah, Titus also goes down as well. Sohas follows. Twisted Fate picks up a triple kill in seconds there. Meanwhile, Linak's like, what's going on, guys? I'm down the bottom taking
and
this
actually, this is really poor timing because Baron just spawned, and those death timers are super long.
and the pings there, they want to close down Linak there, actually. I think KX wanted a piece of him. You can see Twisted Fate was porting. Yes, he has. He's used his ulti to get in there, and I think Linak's he's actually sat porting, and now there you go, see the ulti finishes. But I'm not too sure whether Canada are going to go for this Baron. Oh, there's Hotshot ported, actually teleported up there on towards the inhibitor. Very nicely done. That's going to cause a wave. Unfortunately, the whole of Team France have managed to respawn there. I was going to try and get a glimpse in from Scarra. No, we've had to get back to Jack. That was like a trade of microphones there. But they are going in for the Baron. I'm not too sure if they're in the position to get it. They do have 5 members.
The amount of damage that Twisted Fate and Caitlyn do, especially when Hotshot comes over here with spears, I feel like they can get it. But wow, Kev's taking a lot of damage. Nope, they had to back off.
Yeah, they cannot do it. Remember, we have all gone on for 45 minutes. That Baron builds up stronger and stronger with the hit points as it goes on. They have kept it going, though, and Hotshot GG's going to try and finish it off. Big Fat LP will come in to try and finish it off. France still absolutely, completely unaware. They've got that ward at the back there, but they're nowhere near. Linak's going to flash in. He has done it again! I cannot believe it. Linak has flashed in for the second time running and managed to smite it and completely caught Canada off.
Did he place that ward before his flash, or did he flash in blind?
Oh my god. No, the ward was down. The ward was down already. They had full vision of it, but what a great flash again. Linak coming in, stealing that Baron away. Of course, the difference was the odd one wasn't there, so they had no smite to be able to finish it off there. And now Canada coming in against a fully Baroned up French team.
There.
We do have, is the blue buff still on Baron? I don't think it really matters at this stage. There's no wards there. Anyway, no towers to stop them, and that will be the final inhibitor going down. Just the one Nexus turret. They just need to force this fight at the right opportunity. And to be honest, I think they can force it on the turret as well. Oh, KX getting burst down there, but Yellowstar's getting picked off. KX needs to be careful. Crescendo actually used. That's a little bit too early, I think, for Crescendo. Continue on Kuja. Kuja's had to flash away from that one. Linak was not in the fight. He's been initiating every time they needed him there. Now he's going to come in. Are we going to we can't have a flash, and of course, that's why they've initiated the last few fights, because he's just used the flash to take the Baron down, which is why France is having so many issues actually getting past this wave of poke. So
that was actually a very impressive hold by CLG there. The Yellow Star basically got himself caught out of position, and everyone else had to kind of dive in front of him just to save him, and that's why they took so much damage.
They've just got no initiate now, because outside of Linak flash stunning, nobody is doing anything. Oh, they've caught Soaz out here. He turns around. That seemed a pretty random tether there, actually.
What France needs to do here is they need to shop, everyone buy elixirs, and they need to push as 3 waves of super creeps arrive at the tower. Then the damage that the creeps add, no matter what happens in the fight, will be enough to kill the tower and the inhibitor. But it seems like they're going to rush it a little bit. They have enough time on Baron and on their super creeps that they could wait for everyone to buy elixirs, but they're not going to do that. I feel like everyone should chop and get the added bonus elixirs, but we'll see what happens here with when the 3 waves arrive at the same time.
There they go, that bottom wave is slowly coming. It is Super Minions coming on the bottom against Super Minions, so that's going to be a little bit slower. But the 2 top lanes, you can see, top and mid, coming in. And we're just looking towards the timers, actually. So Crescendo is back up now on Sona, as well as Rumble's ulti flash, not quite up, 3/4 of the way done yet. And I'm keeping my eye on that teleport as well from Hotshot. GG, oh, Hotshot got stunned out there, but the rest of the team weren't quite ready for it. Linak managed to get it. Oh, he's got him a second time, and this time he is going to get poked down, but it's not quite going to be enough. Crescendo goes across on towards Elements. The camera's panned down. Meanwhile, on towards Soaz. Soaz getting picked off there. Titus is also going to follow. I don't think he's going to be able to survive this one. The rest of the team are not anywhere near. Kuja will come down, try and poke that little bit of heal, but that will be caught out very well here by Canada.
As you can see, the super creeps are almost winning the game for them. If they would have waited for 3 waves, they still might be able to take down this.
And Linak now on the Nexus. I'm not too sure it's going to be enough. The Super Minions will come in. They will take them down. You can see Sona actually picking up the kill. Kuja will take down. Will the Super Minions be enough to take down this final Nexus turret? It will be. And Linak goes down almost certainly, but no. That is going to be the win, and a very close game, as we said. That is a full poke team versus a pretty tanky team, and really without that flash initiate from Linak, they didn't seem to have a lot to do.
No way of starting fights.
Didn't realize how much